I'm still left with where I think a lot of people are left, that they really want it to be true, but they don't believe it. And I think that's much more a function of training the elephant. I say that in a secular frame. If I say it in a Christian frame, I would say run to Jesus and ask for his spirit. Because when you get his spirit, you can really believe him. That's putting on my pastoral hat. So, and yes, I talk both ways on my channel. Ooh, 1138. Hey, Paul. Oh, for Grim Grizz. I see you're relatively short on questions today, so here's a minefield. Pick your favorite. Grim Grizz is so good. He is, I think, maybe the only, and he might not even consider himself an anarchist, but when I think of anarchism, I think of Grim, because he's a bomb thrower. That's what he is. He throws these bombs. Are you a Peterson apologist? No. I use Jordan Peterson. I really do. That doesn't mean I don't love him. That doesn't mean I don't wish him well. That doesn't mean I don't want him to thrive. But Jordan Peterson is sort of like a litmus test. He was a dye in the culture, and suddenly all kinds of things that were invisible now were visible. Jordan Peterson is the unauthorized exorcist who has been exercising the spirit of modernity in people all over the place. And once he sweeps their house, for a lot of people, Jesus comes back in. So I hope I'm a Jordan Peterson popularizer, because I think the medicine he's giving is what the culture needs, even while he still hasn't fully left the blue church. So, and I know I get a lot of comments about, because I try to read as many comments as I can. Oh, another video about Peterson. Don't talk about Peterson so much. Or you're a Peterson shill. Or you're just a hanger on to Peterson. Well, there's maybe some truth in some of that, but I saw when I got interested in Peterson because I saw what he was doing, and I said, that's a good thing. That needs to happen. And there's going to be a lot of people that he exercises that they need a new spirit in their house. And I think they need the spirit of Christ inhabiting the house that Jordan Peterson exercises. So, can you speak on the topic of information warfare in the context of the culture war? Yeah, these are the, fortunately at this point, we're not fighting with bullets, but we're fighting with information. And in that way, Jonathan Peugeot, we should imagine him. I was going to use certain iconic symbols of other revolutions, but to say that would in some ways have been blasphemy to the revolution that Jonathan Peugeot is waging, because I think it's a good revolution and I want to see him wage it well. So, but yeah, Jonathan Peugeot is undertaking informational warfare, and he is really good at it. And it is happening. So is Peterson. Vervaeke is doing that to a degree, but he's an academic, and so it's a little different. Did VVK, or maybe you mean PVK, and it's a typo, saying your name and Jordan Peterson's channel add social pressure on the commentary? No. My pressure on the commentary is what they're saying important enough for me to take my time to make it more accessible to the world? And when I first listened to it, I thought, I don't know if this is worth my time, because it was too frenetic. Now, as I've heard from a number of you, second, third time in, things are starting to gel. And as I'm slowly going through it in the commentary, I'm seeing a lot of value in it. So that's the pressure. Peterson, how can Peterson not know who I am? It used to be that all the clip channels in the first wave, all the clip channels were going through all of Jordan Peterson's stuff and making clips, just clip, clip, clip. And there's still some clip channels out there that are doing that with some of his recent stuff. But for the most part, a combination of YouTube demonetizing all those clip channels and the fact that because Jordan isn't walking into the blue church and throwing and destroying its icons, he's not getting the same kind of blue church promotion that he ironically got in the first wave. And so there's far less incentive to do a clip channel of Jordan Peterson now, because you're not going to have the same kind of algorithmic ride that I stumbled into in November of 2017. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what YouTube was. I just made a video and it's like, whoa, what happened? It's still true that videos about Jordan Peterson do well in terms of the metrics on my channel, but not like they used to. So how many people are really so a lot of the nominal Jordan Peterson fans are sort of out there, but they're not making videos anymore. And I still am. And so I look like an anachronism, or I look like manic, or I look obsessive compulsive, or I look insane by still talking about this dude. I don't give a crap how I look in those things. I'm sure I'm some of those things. I do these things right from the start because of the reasons I saw the value in it. And that's why I keep doing it. It's like, oh, you're making big money. Yeah, you want to know how much money a video makes? Ask Rick. He'll tell you. YouTube, if you're living off YouTube AdSense, you'd better have a big account. And yeah, I believe that was a serious hit when YouTube demonetized Brett Weinstein's channel. Yeah, I believe that, but his channel's a lot bigger than mine. Financially, no. Can I live on this? No. Why do I do it? Because I think it's the right thing to do. Because it's interesting to me. Because I want to have a conversation about this. And the only way I can is by doing this stuff, and y'all keep talking back to me, and you're all still interested. So, you know, it's sort of like in John 6 when Jesus had this mass following, and Jesus says, you know, unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you can have no part of me. And, you know, it sort of dispels the masses in Galilee who are following him because he's handing out bread and he's doing miracles. And he looks to his disciples and says, what about you? Well, I think Jordan would love. Jordan is doing a heat check on his idea that YouTube is unseating mass media. It is, but these things take a long time. Mass media still has a ton of power. And Jordan's channel is not growing like it did in 2018, and it won't. Jordan has sort of been pigeonholed in the zeitgeist by the Blue Church, which still has tremendous power. And so unless Jordan decides to change course on wave number 2 and feels healthy enough and well enough to go back into the Blue Church and start overchanging money, changing tables, overturning those, the pace of his growth is going to be quite slow, because this book isn't going to do it. His upcoming book that he mentioned to Vervaeke, that I'm much more interested in reading that than this. So his video with Vervaeke, his video with Peugeot, this is the area of his work that is the most important. And I'm not surprised his video with Peugeot got 1.5 million views. It's going to be very interesting to see how this video with Vervaeke goes, because I think a lot of people are going to watch it for 20 minutes and say, I can't understand this, and simply walk away. Because most people, there's a bar of entry that if you want in further, you're going to have to go in further and commit yourself to it. Church has exactly the same thing. 80% of the people in church give 20% of the money. 20% of the people in church give 80% of the money. When it comes to the Jordan Peterson following, if you're still watching my videos, you're in the 20%. Because we just have a sense that there's something going on here that is worth looking at. We know lightning's going to strike again here. And if you want to learn from the lightning, you look where it doesn't just strike once, but where it strikes with regularity. And that's Peterson. So, and again, the fact that, to answer this question, how could he not know that I'm doing this? Because probably every time he turns on his channel, that darn YouTube algorithm serves up one of my videos, because there's just not that many other people working on it like there was in 2018. So yeah, he knows my name. Does he watch my videos? I don't think so, because he's not going to spend 2 or 3 hours doing it. Does he read my Substack? I haven't checked the list yet. I don't know that he's subscribed to it. I think he started following me on Twitter, but he's going to have an even bigger problem if he decides he wants to talk to me of figuring out who the heck I am. And I think that was a big part of the Vervaeke video. He doesn't know who John Vervaeke is as well anymore, because Jordan Peterson has been fighting for his life for the last 5 years. He's been fighting for his academic life. He's been fighting for his reputational life, and he's been fighting for his biological life for the last 5 years. So if he ever talks to me, he's going to have an extremely low resolution picture of me, which will probably have more noise than signal. And so if possible, in a 2-hour conversation, if he could learn me better, because how's he going to learn about me? Is he going to watch 100 hours of video? I've got over 500 videos in my Jordan Peterson playlist. He can't watch those. He's not going to. He shouldn't. So this has never been just about Peterson. This is about you. I'm an evangelist. This is what I do. But I'm a weird kind of evangelist, because I won't hate you if you don't love my Jesus. But I think that's actually at the core of loving Jesus, is you love your rivals and people who say mean things about you. It's what Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount. It's in public domain. It's in the Bible. It's what Christians should do. It's hard to do, but it shouldn't surprise anybody, even though it always continually does, because Christians are so bad at it. People say logos in a lot of the corner of the internet, and lately it's been struck the notion of integrity of logos. Yeah. Logos, the value of that word is diluting, because when the Gospel of John uses that word, the author knew exactly what he was doing. Most of the time when we use words today, we don't know what we're doing. And I think that's quite true of that word. Do you remember Jordan Peterson saying he was going to do a Proverbs as a biblical series? Yep. Will it happen? Who knows? You know, as I said in my commentary videos, this conversation with Vervaeke raised questions in my mind again about Jordan's health. Given what he's been through in the last 2 years, of course, there are going to be questions about his health. I think he's getting stronger. We've seen that. I'm anxiously anticipating the next video to drop to see how he is in those conversations. Does he interrupt at the rate he always does? Now, he's always interrupted a lot, but it was excessive in this video with Vervaeke. So I don't know. How's your week going? Asked Chad the alcoholic. My week's